What is going on, YouTube? So coming back with my NFC Championship preview. So I just got done with my AFC Championship preview. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. So doing the same format as I do for my college videos, or my college football videos. Like I said in the last video as well, I mainly do college football, not NFL, but I do pay quite a bit of attention to the NFL as well. So I'm going to do the same format, 3 keys for each team into my prediction. So, again, first give a little bit of my background information for the game. So, I'm pretty sure everyone knows what happened in the Cardinals game before, 26-20 win in overtime. Off Larry Fitzgerald's, I believe it was 74-yard reception. Pretty much set him up with in the 5-yard line. So, a lot went down in the Cardinals game. Seemed like they had it. Then 2 Hail Marys by Aaron Rodgers forced the game into overtime. Missed coin toss, or not, flip coin, whatever that was. And then on the Panthers side, 130-124 over Seattle. Sounds a lot better than it actually was. So obviously, if you guys watched that game, they had a 31-0 lead today. Almost blew it. Extremely, extremely close. Kind of a sad game for the Panthers. I mean, yeah, they won, but shouldn't have let up that much. Alright, so move into my 3 keys for the Cardinals. First one is for Carson Palmer to throw 300-plus yards. He threw for 349 and 3 touchdowns against the Packers. Now I get it, Panthers defense is better than the Packers, but I also think this is going to be another high-scoring game, a lot like the Packers game. Now, the Cardinals have a bevy of weapons at receiver. John Brown, who had 82 yards. These teams did not meet in the regular season, by the way. Not to mention that. So, John Brown had 82 yards, I believe 5 receptions in the Packers game. Larry Fitzgerald had 176. He was either 176 or 172, and then a touchdown. So, not to mention Michael Floyd. He's very good as well. This is one thing the Panthers are going to have to cover. This is in a separate key, so I'm not going to get too far into it. But Carson Palmer has plenty of weapons, including 2 weapons out of the backfield, Andre Ellington and David Johnson. If the Cardinals do want to keep up in this game, because the amount of talent on the other side of the field for this game is going to be incredible, they're going to have to rely very heavily on Carson Palmer, and I don't think he's ever been to this stage in his career, so it will be a lot of pressure. It's something I think he can handle, though. So, moving to my second key, and it's for David Johnson and Andre Ellington to get 100-plus yards on the ground. I think this is the least important key. But I also think it is a little bit understated how effective this could be if they could get it done. Controlling the clock is going to be big here. Both these defenses are very good, but these are also 2 very high-powered offenses. So controlling the clock will be a very important thing for this game. These are 2 teams that I would say have the best running backs left in the playoffs. There's not much talent at running back left in the AFC. Jonathan Stewart, David Johnson, Andre Ellington didn't do a whole lot in the divisional round. I believe David Johnson had 35 yards on the ground, and then Andre Ellington had something like 3. It was somewhere between 3 and 15. Might have been looking at the 3rd string, but either way, not that many. And if they can get 100-plus yards against a linebacking crew with Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly, might be the best linebacking duo, tandem, whatever, in the entire NFL. That's something that'll be huge, because then obviously the Panthers have to load the box and you just dump it over the top. But the Panthers team is very thin at corner, really, with only Josh Norman. Alright, so moving to my 3rd key, and that's for Dwight Freeney and Calais Campbell to control the line. Dwight Freeney's been unbelievable this year for the Cardinals at his age. 8 sacks in 11 games. Really been very effective. Neither of them had too much of an effect in the NFC divisional round game. I believe that Dwight Freeney had 1 sack. Actually, they were pretty effective. I take that back. So, sorry. But I think this is very, very, very important with a team that has as much talent at quarterback and running back as the Panthers do, with Jay Stu and then Cam Newton. So moving to my 3 keys for the Panthers. First one is obvious. Might be the most overstated key that will be said this week, and has already been said today. And that's don't let up. I think that Obviously, they went into way too of a conservative mode. I get it, you're up 31-0. You just want to get the game over with, but against a team that has had as much fight as the Seahawks have had this year, which is something I want to bring up later, was the Seahawks-Cardinals game a couple weeks ago. And then you got to keep going. I mean, yeah, you had a good first half running the ball, but it's 31-0. Obviously, your game plan is working. Stay with it at least a little bit. Don't adjust entirely. Very few times conservative mode has worked, especially up by that much against that good a team. Against a team like the Cardinals, where I don't think they're going to be down by that much at any point. I really don't. You have to obviously have your foot on the gas the entire way. I don't think this is going to be a huge problem. I'm not saying this is going to be a problem, but I'm saying this is a key. This is a major key for the Panthers. So that leads into my second one, which is Jonathan Stewart, 100-plus yards. So he had 106 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Seahawks. Obviously, I think that'll be enough against the Cardinals. The Cardinals' defensive line that is very good. This is also a Cardinals run defense that was very much hurt by the loss of Tyrann Mathieu, a guy who was extremely important to this team this year. Still, nonetheless, a very talented team on defense, and still got really a bevy of safeties that can at least play well. Tony Jefferson came up with some pretty clutch tackles. I believe he had 8 against the Packers. So, I mean, they still got safeties that can handle it. That leads me to my third key, which is for the Panthers to win the turnover battle. So, I think this is, I don't think this is going to be an offensive shootout, but I think that there's going to be more offense in this game than a lot of people would think if you're not very aware of the other team. Panthers are the highest scoring offense in the country, or in the NFL. Talking about this college football. And then the Cardinals just really have weapons everywhere right now. Both these teams are pretty healthy. Injuries aren't too big of a factor with either team. Most key players are in this game. Now, there's a few things I want to mention before I move into my predictions. I think there were a few things that were understated. First one is the Cardinals just getting whopped by the Seahawks a couple weeks ago, 36-6. Poor performance by Carson Palmer, run game shut down completely. Seahawks defense stepped up in a big way. This is a Panthers defense that can do much of the same. Panthers do have this game at home, which I think is going to help out a lot. This is a Cardinals team that has been pretty impressive at home this year. This is also a very streaky Cardinals team, and a Panthers team that has been, for the most part, extremely consistent this year. Obviously, the Seahawks game was a bit of a letdown, but like I said, they still won. A win's a win. As long as the Cardinals don't let that repeat, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think the Cardinals have enough leadership on this team, enough experienced players. They got a veteran running back in Andre Ellington that's been around for a while on the Cardinals, a couple of years. Obviously, Larry Fitzgerald, that's already been to the Super Bowl before, had, I want to say 2008 I think it was 2008 Super Bowl, where he had the game-winning or it looked like the game-winning touchdown. Long, I want to say 60-yard touchdown play. Looked like it was going to seal the game before Santonio Holmes touchdown on the final drive. The little tiptoe, very famous touchdown at this point. Not to mention Carson Palmer, like I said, hasn't been really this far in his career, but I think he's a guy that can step up. He's had a fantastic year. Stepped up in a big way. Really, whenever he's been healthy in a good situation, he has more than thrived. He has made everyone even better around him, even if they're already good. He's got a lot of weapons at receiver, more than he needs. Now, on the Panthers side of the ball, I think one of the things that I understated was the importance of special teams. I think this is something I understated for both sides. These are two teams that both have weapons on special teams that can play a big factor in the game. And for the Panthers, it's Ted Ginn. I think he's got to have a big game. And then for the Cardinals, obviously Patrick Peterson, maybe their overall best player. And then also David Johnson, pretty slippery guy. I think David Johnson's going to have a bigger game than he had. Against the Packers, kind of got shut down. I think he had like a hot 2 yards per carry, maybe even a little bit less than that. He's not a guy that's going to bowl you over, but he's a one-cut back. You got to find some holes. Starting back, obviously Andre Ellington didn't get as many carries. I don't think he's going to in the NFC Championship either. This game should have decent weather. It's in North Carolina, not that I haven't really checked into the weather that much. Obviously it will change, but it's not in sunny Arizona, so That's also something you got to watch out for if it is raining, cold. I think it'll play in the Panthers' favor. So, moving to my prediction, and I've got the Cardinals winning 24-21. So, again, I think both my picks are going to be pretty unpopular. The spread for this game is Arizona by 3, or not Arizona by 3, excuse me, Carolina by 3. Both of the spreads are by 3, New England by 3, and then Carolina by 3. I think that spread does match this game, but I have a feeling with the Cardinals. The fact that they were able to hold up after what happened in the Green Bay game, that Hail Mary was insane. Would have broken the back of a lot of teams, but able to come back and fight the way they did, fight the way Larry Fitzgerald did, and win it on basically 2 plays in an insane spin move by Carson Palmer to get outside the pocket there, and just so much fight from Larry Fitzgerald to get it down to about the 3-yard line. It's gonna be a tough one, obviously. I think both these games are going to come down to a field goal or even less, but I think it's going to be an incredibly entertaining conference championship weekend, one that besides being a Colts fan last year heading into the conference championship weekend, just as a straight-up sports fan, I think both these games are going to be fantastic, and I'm very much looking forward to the chance to watching both of them. So yeah, if you haven't checked, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you haven't checked out my Patriots-Broncos preview, go check that out. I'm going to most likely put it in the outro. Maybe a link in the description below, but if it's the outro, you just have to click right after this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Looking forward to what happens here, and then in a few weeks, the Super Bowl. Seems so weird that football's about to come to a close. Kind of sucks, but it's been a very vastly entertaining college football and professional football season, just coming from a pure sports fan standpoint. But yeah, like I said, before I digress down another road, that is pretty much it. So yeah. What is going on, YouTube? So I wanted to come back with my Broncos-Patriots preview, get a little bit into the NFL before the season is over. So obviously this is the AFC Championship game, and while most of my videos this year have been on college football, I've done a little bit on the NFL, but I have been watching the NFL all year, so don't think that I'm just jumping into it now.